security conscious choices or safety conscious choices, decisions because of it. But online, it seems like we don't have those same kinds of signals. So how can a user of Craigslist make better decisions around the people that they kind of engage with? And do you have any sense how that's changed?
Well, what seems to happen in reality is that people in general get increasingly smart about sensing the tone of a message. I mean, some people will fall for anything, but the vast majority of people are smart and getting smarter and all that. I can tell that because I have conversations literally every day with people. They smell something bad, and then they can figure it out. This applies to all of us, though. We all get phished at times or whatever. I think I mentioned before that for years I've used a very advanced email tool which helps prevent security problems, this advanced tool called Pine.
Pine?
About a month ago...
Dude, please, man. Let me hook you up with an executable after this. Like some graphics, some flash.
Yeah. Well, about a month ago, we switched to a new advanced tool, Alpine. The only change I found is that it'll tell you what link you're really being directed to when you're looking at some HTML. And, it occurs to me that if all the big webmail providers like Gmail, if they threw in a little JavaScript which told you when the link looked different than the actual place you were being sent to, if you got a little JavaScript pop-up which said, hey, this isn't what it seems, that might help with a lot of phishing. Well, what do I know? I haven't coded in 10 years.
So, well, let me ask you this. That JavaScript that you're talking about, that might provide visibility to the user, but the user still ultimately has to make a choice, right? Okay, cancel, that kind of thing, accept or not accept. And at least in my experience, and this is based on watching my mom buy stuff, right? And she will also always take the path of least resistance. If she thinks okay will get her to purchase that item, she's going to click okay. If she thinks something that comes up in Russian letters will get her that item, she'll click whatever's up there for her to fulfill some kind of mission.
Well, you're right. People, the bad guys are getting smarter. People, ordinary consumers, are getting smarter as well. Sometimes the most you can do is let people know what goes on. That's one of the reasons I'm involved with Consumer Reports. Yep. It's one of the reasons I was at a meeting in Washington not long ago where I'm saying, hey, if you want to let people know what's going on, get posters like the old loose lips sink ships posters.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're a troop posting on Facebook, don't tell people where you are. For that matter, if you're a State Department diplomat overseas, don't tell people what hotel you're staying at.
All right, so this ties into Secretary Napolitano's announcement yesterday as a new cyber awareness campaign. And I think that makes sense. And so, something that I wanted to ask you about too. So September, I'm kind of cruising the bookstore, man, and I see the cover of Wired magazine, and I think we have a shot of it here. The tragedy of Craigslist, man. Any reaction?
Well, actually, they're being a little tongue-in-cheek. The tragedy is that we listen to people in our community, and we respond to that. The untold story behind the cover is that the previous month was Brad Pitt.
Logical flow.
Yeah, they decided, though, they really needed to sell more magazines, so they brought in the A-Team. Now, the downside is Angelina saw that and began making inquiries about me.
Oh, man.
And their breakup may have been caused by that. Fortunately, my girlfriend asserted her control, and I think Brad and Angelina are back together again.
Nice. A happy ending to the story, man. I don't think you want to get in that Brad-Angelina kind of triangle, man. Very dangerous.
She may still be waiting, though.
But no comment.
I feel like there's something to be said here about a man-in-the-middle attack. I don't know what.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I would like to welcome another guest to add to this conversation. Now this guy has very interesting perspective. He's somebody that understands technology, has built some of the fundamental technology that we still use today, or at least the initial fabric of it. But he also understands how technology breaks. And again, this guy needs no introduction. An icon of technology, Steve Wozniak. What's up, man? How's it going?
Musical chairs. Craig, how honorable to be here with you. You have a list, and I have a list too, but I think mine's kept by the FBI.
No follow-on questions asked. Man, how's it going?
What a great day. I mean, I just wish I lived in San Francisco instead of San Jose most of the year.
Did you use your Prius to get here, man?
I used my Prius to get here. Yes, my Toyota. I want to thank my mom and my dad and my Toyota for getting me here.
Okay.
But I took a Segway from the hotel right to here. So.
Oh, wow, man. Truly efficient.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I got into the Prius was it was one of the early cars that had the most in the electronics. They were doing so much with the electronics and the central console and all that stuff. And
so
I'm into that.
It's, you know,
I've had 9 Priuses since 2004.
9
and I love them, and I'll have more, I've got
Have
4.
you trashed the other
4 right now.
How do you
Kids, my assistant, my kids, my wife, and myself. We use them just love them.
Now, I saw a story that was done with, you were talking about cruise control and how that worked in the Prius. And what I found really interesting about that is obviously a complex system. A lot of electronics, a lot of things working together. Can you talk a little bit about your experience with that?
I can talk a little bit about it, which is I tested over and over a situation where I would bump the cruise control up and watch my speed go up a mile an hour. I was trying to see if it would go up 2 miles an hour sometimes or 0 other times. I'd go up 1 mile an hour to 71, 72, 73, and it would settle. And at 74, or some number I'm not going to say,
okay,
74, some higher number,
90,
the car, all of a sudden, accelerate, and keep going. And the highway was totally clear. The first time I did it, it was at dusk, and it was totally clear in front of me, so I just wanted to see how high is it trying to go. And it seemed to be unlimited, so I finally hit the brake to turn off the cruise control system. No problem. So I didn't think it was a dangerous thing. This was many, many months ago.
Yeah.
But boy, I had trouble getting anybody super interested in this whole thing. When the thing was coming down on Toyota about accelerators sticking, why didn't anybody listen to me about my problem? Because my problem had to be in software, or maybe a switch got stuck. What if I click the cruise control up and the switch acts like it's still on? And I'm sure the black box or whatever minimal black box they have in the car wouldn't show these sort of things. But we who work in computers know that there are a lot of little failures. Gadgets, all the time, some gadget will just freeze or stop working in some way. Turn it off, turn it on, and it works. It's a standard procedure. Computers, big gadgets, small gadgets. And I've had that experience on my Priuses before, too, where like my XM radio will stop playing sound, and the other sound sources will play. Why did it shut off? I'll stop the car. I'll pull over at the next exit, turn the car off, turn it on, and now it works. Just like everything we come to know.
Your car,
the trouble is whenever
like a safe.
And I've had the same thing happen with the GPS, saying no GPS on. I'm out in the desert, and then I'll pull over after 20 minutes, turn the car off, turn it on, and it works perfectly. And it's just like all these other gadgets we have, but it's a bigger gadget. It's a car. Yeah. And the thing is, everything you have in life, whenever I see somebody have something, what's going on? It won't work. Well, I said, everything today has a computer in it, so everything will fail. They should kill the guys who invented these things.
Okay, and then just in case anybody decides to fulfill that now. But let me ask you that. I mean, so much more and more of our lives are depending on these software systems. And you're right, we have gotten into this culture of reboot and restart.
Not only that,
but for some stuff, that's not going to work, man.
Yeah, we've made these processors so inexpensive. You hear about cars that have, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 9, maybe 200 processors in them. They're all talking to each other. And boy, a system like that, a real-time system, is very difficult to analyze, to debug. Anybody who's ever developed certain kinds of software hardware, you'll have a problem you just can't find. You go in all night long and you make a guess and something seems to fix it. And now it's working. And the next day you come back and it fails again. And it's hard, sometimes incredibly difficult to track down these nonlinear systems. And what if a glitch, throws